Hey, you're watching iAllegedly, and I'm Dan. Got a good one for you today because just want to cover something that people keep sending me, and that is that they can't buy it all. And what I'm talking about is real estate. So please don't forget to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you get notified on everything that we're doing. And don't forget to take a look at Webull. Webull is a stock trading app that is absolutely amazing. If you sign up and use the link below, they give you 2 free shares of stock that could be worth up to 300 bucks. And the cool thing is if you deposit anything, a penny into the account, they will give you 10 more shares that could be worth up to $30,000. Absolutely amazing. You can trade stocks, cryptos, ETFs, options, all that fun stuff. But take a look at Webull today. Now, so much talk has been, circling around real estate and with how these huge institutions are going to buy all the distressed properties. And the latest is JP Morgan. JP Morgan steps forward, and in the Atlanta area, it's not rumored, they've issued a press release that they're going to buy $1 billion worth of homes, and they're going to start with the Atlanta market. And the misconception is that they're going to buy $1 billion worth of homes in Atlanta. No, they're going to start with 250 homes in the Atlanta area. And they have partnered with a company called Haven Realty. And Haven's going to be their management company that's going to handle this. And here's what's interesting about this. We've heard about BlackRock. We've heard about the other large institutional investors that are buying, multiple units up, but this is not going to work, guys. This is not going to take all the distressed properties off the market. The difference between now and 2008 through 2011 was that the banks and the institutions were not buying all that real estate. It just didn't happen. Foreclosures happened, short sales happened, and regular people bought those houses and some businesses. I heard of a contractor that went to a multi-unit where they have something like this, where you've got retail downstairs, and then upstairs you have the condos, and this guy bought 10 of those for $1 million. Okay, great deal. I also wanted to do it on this street because of all the closed commercial real estate. This is not going to work. Please understand that. JP Morgan is projecting what they're going to do for the rest of us to put comfort into the real estate market, and it's not going to work. They're talking about how, hey, we already have $415 million in equity in these properties. We're going to spend $1 billion and have $415 million. No, maybe today you have $415 million in supposed equity, but that's been eviscerated, and it's going to be eviscerated. It's a fuse lit on the equity right now. There's a big truck coming. I'll turn the other direction for a little bit. The problem with this is these institutions think that they're going to come in and own these communities and everything's going to be great. Let's face it, apartment complexes over condo complexes are ran completely differently. They're the quality of the neighborhood after a short period of time goes down. So they can talk about land management, they can talk about HOAs and things like that, and these things apply to home ownership. It's okay to have renters around homeowners. It's happens all the time. But the problem with it is that if you have just an entire rental community, who's going to maintain the lawns? Who's going to maintain the streets? Who's going to make sure that you don't paint your house purple? Okay? And you can sit there and say the good and bad about homeowner associations, but the good and bad about home ownership is that these people that own houses, it's pride of ownership. You want to fix your yard. You want to put plants in front of your house. If I rent, I don't care about that stuff. So JP Morgan just stepped forward, and they have a new app that they just announced about 2 weeks ago, and we covered this. It's called Story. It's a horrible name, but the Story app is designed for real estate management. It's designed to take off the table, applications. It's designed to take off the table, collecting rent, you know, the responsibility of being a landlord. And if you look at this, look at the app, because now they have it live and you can look at it. It's in the link below. You can see how they're trying to pivot into something different, being the world's largest bank. And they're trying to do something else than just have bank accounts and things like that. So they want to be in the landlord business, which is not going to be really good when you think about this, because it is going to take out the human emotion from this. And by the way, there's another place. Oh, it's coming soon, guys. It's been coming soon all summer long. So this is not going to work. Now, real estate agents around the country are quitting their jobs. They're not sticking with this. And you see this in a real estate downturn. It happens all the time. It happened in 08 through 11 that there were less agents. Now we're seeing areas like Phoenix, Arizona that has, you know, all these agents quitting. The largest area in Arizona is Mesa, Arizona, where 40% of the agents quit. 40% less agents last month than this month. 34% less agents in Phoenix this month than last month. Hope I got that right the first time. The idea with it is that people are throwing in the towel. And this is going to be depressionary. When you look at everything that's happening right now, you're only seeing the people that are behind on their payments grow. Look at things like foreclosure.com, which, you know, I have a link below. If you want to use that, they'll give you a 7-day trial. I do it because I look at my own neighborhood week after week after week. And the fact that there are people that live around me that owe $200,000 more than what the house is. And you wonder why they're in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure. It's done. It's over, Johnny. What you have to do is learn this one word, and that is patience. If you're going to be a real estate buyer in the future, the last thing you need to do is be buying. Scope it out now. Look at the neighborhoods that you want to live in. Figure out what you want to do. Speaking of that, you know what? I'm going to get Michael Lembeck. Michael Lembeck is a local multifamily expert. I'm going to reach out to Michael today and get him on the show in the next few days. Everything with multifamily, like fourplexes on up, duplexes on up, are having trouble. Partners want out, you know, having a very expensive financing. Think about this. Interest rates went from 3.1% for the average house to over 6.5%. Who could afford that? And people don't realize that this is changing, and this is an epic problem right now. But nobody wants to hear that. People want immediate gratification. They want to buy a stock and have it go up tenfold. We want the foreclosures now, Dan. We don't want to wait for these foreclosures. We want to see the problems. And guess what? BlackRock's going to buy everything. No, they're not. BlackRock just announced that they're leaving 38 cities and purchasing. Oh, by the way, here's another retail unit for lease right down here. Okay? Guys, get the idea? It's going to be a problem with this. You're starting to see more rental scams out there. As a single dad, I've told you guys this story before, my son played sports. So I had to live within a certain district because I was pigeonholed. They kept grabbing me and telling me, verify this, verify that. So I just couldn't live anywhere while he was in high school. A few years ago, I go to an open house and it is caked with people. I mean, it is just nice house, about $400 under market for the rental. And there's probably 20, 25 people in the house. And as I'm walking through, they go, listen, here's a form that we have. It's just your name and your social security number. Give us $35 and we'll do a credit pull and see if you qualify. And we'll go from there. I'm like, okay, wait a second. Don't you want to know my income? Don't you want to know anything about me? And plus, I'm a single dad, guys. You're going to pick me over this guy and fat ass, excuse me, we'll just call him Fat Boy. Fat Boy sitting in the chair was like this to me. This is my house. I'm going to live here. You're not going to get it. Me, us. And I'm like, okay. So he upset me that day. And the funny thing about this guy, let me describe this guy to you. His wife was too hot for him. He was one of those guys with the chin that came down really heavy. and had a beard that went from here all the way to his chest. Lovely. Probably never bought a razor. Okay, that's my guess. Anyways, fat boy. Fat boy's sitting there making all these gestures how he's going to get this house. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't seem right. You know, doesn't seem good. So I ended up getting a house literally right around the corner, about, 2 blocks away at the most. And, 2 months later, I'm running, go by the house. There's a car parked out in front. Guy gets out of the car and, hey, how's it going? I tried to get this house. Oh, yeah, I'm a friend of the owners, and they rented to me. They live out of state. And I'm like, really? So the whole thing with the deposit that day was a scam, guys, because, hey, we're not going to do a hard pull on your credit. They weren't going to do any pull on the credit. So they had literally a stack of applications for 35 bucks. That is now, I hear, $40. Now, as I talk to other real estate investors right now, they tell me, yeah, we don't do anything like that. We have a program that we tell people, here's the site that you go to. Our property address is included in this. These people fill out an application and get an answer. It's that simple. And with that answer, they're told, your application is pending, but the landlord gets either a green light, like these people are good, a yield sign, or a red light, like don't rent to these people. Bad news. They said this has never failed us, and they got all their rent during the health crisis. Nobody skipped a payment. So, pretty impressive. I'm going to park it here for a second. See this place right here, guys? This place is in Huntington Beach, California. You got the ocean right there. You got the street fair right there right now. But this place has been literally in 2 years, half a dozen places, I think. It's just a mess. And, what's going to work in retail? Who knows? But as far as all these agents that are quitting, this is just a sign of the times, guys. Get patient. Get your house in order. People are taking out more HELOC loans. The lines of credit, they went up 74% last month because people cannot manage their money. But again, I love going on things like foreclosure.com because every week there's more people on it. Wow. Well, why is that, guys? Everything's good right now with real estate. It's all good. What would this place cost? A fortune for that. So, don't be distracted by the JP Morgan thing. It's ridiculous. The fat cats can do whatever they want. They can buy whatever they want. It doesn't mean that you're out of luck when it comes to buying a house. I have a friend who has a very aggressive plan for buying, starting with 25 houses on up when all hell breaks loose. And he thinks it's a year from now. Some of us think it's a little sooner. But you're going to see issues with banks, and you're going to see complexes, multi-story units like this. That's a hotel on this side of the street. But multi-stories, we have retail on the bottom, and then the residential units on the top. A lot of these places that they're renting, they are trying to unload right now. There's apartment buildings being sold here in Orange County from big developers that we never thought would sell them. That's the sign of the times right now. JP Morgan, they've got issues, and we'll talk about them later on in the week. All these banks have issues, but do not believe this. Do not believe that there's not going to be a problem. Do not believe that there's not going to be excess inventory of houses. Houses will not be completed, just like in every other economic downturn that we've had. You're going to see builders that will not have the money to finish things. Money is more expensive, and just because you started a complex a year ago, interest rates don't stay the same. I don't care how big you are. Ask these builders, ask these lenders. We'll ask Michael Lembeck when we bring him on about this. These people are running out of dough right now, and they are praying that you're going to buy these houses. My brother told me about a community in Banning, California, which is between Riverside and Palm Springs area, out by the casinos out there. And these houses started at $350,000. Now they're $600,000 for the final phase. I'd like to be those idiots that bought that. So We're seeing this around the country. We're seeing incentives from the builders. We're seeing teaser payments again. We're seeing nothing down. We're seeing story time with no payments for 3 months, things like that. The inevitable is you have to pay for an asset that's overpriced. Remember that. So don't be fooled by this right now. But if you are impatient, you're going to pay more for everything else. If you're not impatient and you have some common sense, just sit back and watch this. Do yourself a favor. If you want to buy a home, take my advice. And the advice is this: go to the community that you want to live in. I want to live here. And look at the house. I know, you guys, I know 2 streets I'm going to live on. Seriously. This street or that street. All done. Ready, waiting, go. I know what it's like when it rains. I know what it's like, who has a boat, who doesn't, who has all that stuff. I have, how many kids are on the street. What's it like when somebody has a party? I know all that stuff. Okay? And get out and talk to neighbors. Hi, how are you? Bring your dog there and walk your dog there. Do that, because that's what I did. Oh, hey, how you doing? No, just looking in the neighborhood. Jamie Dimon and the Fat Cats on the East Coast think that they're smarter than all of us, which is fine. They can live that. I hate Jamie Dimon for this one reason. I think his salary is either $34 or $36 million. He was pissed off that another banker was making the same thing, so he went to the board and demanded that they give him 500 grand more. And yeah, I covered that story in like June. Okay, so he's an ass clown. That's my opinion of Jamie Dimon. But don't buy into this, guys. I have seen so much with real estate. A friend of mine dated a woman, just got a new job running the tennis club, doing the books for them. I'm like, that's an interesting job. Yeah, she used to manage a real estate office and hated all the real estate agents that she worked with because they were all show. People that had to have $700 sunglasses, people that had to have the image that they, portrayed success to sell in Newport Beach. No, that you want that person negotiating the biggest investment of your life? No. Rather have a clown, rather have, a child do it than someone like that that has to look a certain way. Which reminds me of when I was looking for a place to live, this one agent was just telling me and explaining to me how important he was. And he was doing his friend a favor by having this one rental. And I go there and the agent was too important to meet me. So he sent his assistant, and his assistant pulls up in a Jaguar, diagonally parked, gets out with the sunglasses, sets him on the dash of the car. And I'm like, who are you? Okay, probably 21, maybe if even that. Well, I'm so-and-so's assistant, and he wanted me to show you the property. We get to talking, and the kid says, real estate is all about perception and how you look, and it's important that I portray that image, and he's been such a great mentor. He's an idiot for portraying that image to you. Again, learning the ropes, learning to negotiate, learning banking, learning what's going to happen during this time. There will be foreclosures, guys. Massive amounts of foreclosures. Unbelievable amount of foreclosures. There will be short sales where people owe more than the house is worth. I have friends that bought a condo during the last downturn. I think it was 2011 or 2012 when they bought the place, but they made an offer for just over 200 grand for a place that was owed, that someone owed about 450, 475 on. And the bank comes back 9 months later and says, you guys are approved for the house. You have to give us an answer and your deposit within 48 hours or it's done. We'll go to the next offer. And they took it. That place right now, those are selling for almost 900 grand right now. So that's their retirement. And again, that can drop to 500. They don't care. They just don't care. So get ready. Get ready for this. If real estate's your bag, if you think that's it, this is going to be the thing that's going to collapse in such a huge, huge way. Okay? Retail is done. Retail is going to be finished. We're going to be told how great Black Friday is and Cyber Monday. All that shenanigans, it's ridiculous, guys. People have no money and people are borrowing to pay their bills and eat and keep the lights on, which there's so much to talk about. But Do not let the JP Morgan thing get to you. Do not buy this. There's going to be other banks that are going to do this, and it's just not going to work. It's going to work somewhat. They're going to own a bunch of properties. You're going to have a city of renters. You're going to have that. But, oh, by the way, that's the old Forever 21 right there. That was absolutely packed at times. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video for you and get you guys up to speed on all this stuff. But I think you haven't seen anything yet. Get patience. I am not a patient man, and I've had to learn this. And I am ready. Okay? Be ready. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Good luck. Reach out. Remember, hello@iAllegedly is the email address. We'll talk to you guys soon. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this fantastic channel, and I will see you guys soon.